Welcome to the Amazing Race 27 preview episode of the You Are Team Number podcast. My name is Michael Harmstone, and joining me as always is our token strong Canadian, Logan Saunders.
Afternoon.
You can tweet us using the hashtag yatncast or email us as always at yatncast@gmail.com. And we're already on Amazing Race 27. Logan and I have been doing the Amazing Race Canada ones all summer. And when we properly kick into Amazing Race 27, we'll also be joined by Ben and Michelle. But they couldn't be arsed waking up at this time for us.
It's definitely odd to be previewing Amazing Race 27 when we've still got 2 episodes of Amazing Race Canada to air as of yet.
I don't get as good a feeling with this cast as I did with Amazing Race Canada, but as we've seen with the absolutely awful boot order on Amazing Race Canada, maybe a worse cast is better as long as, the better teams stay in.
That is true. That is true.
I really don't want to go through a run of losing all the great teams like we did with Amazing Race Canada again.
Wait. So you're saying that Gino and Jesse, the Volda Mussolinis, are not a great team?
Well, they're not even the best team of the season, average-wise. If they win the next leg, they will be, but they are not, according to the stats. And I've not said this before in a preview, but I do want to preface this by saying that what we're about to say is entirely first impressions. Obviously, we don't know these people, and we do have history of being both oh-so right and oh-so very, very wrong. But then a look at some of these teams may change our perception of them for the better. With that being said, you do need to bear in mind one very important thing, which is that up until the day that the bios are released, teams can edit any answer that they like, which means that their answer will have been carefully considered by the contestant themselves with any luck. And going into this preview, I also want to say that if you're privy to privileged information, for example, if your friend took a picture of a pair of teams who make it to the last third of the season, that is not okay to post on Reddit. Even less okay is posting those pictures without a spoiler tag and with an ambiguous name so that people like me click on them and get spoiled. Because I'm one of the most relaxed people in the TAR community with spoilers. I love location spoilers. I love to know where they're going. And whilst we won't spoil anything that is unconfirmed by CBS, such as locations, I would like to give a hearty fuck you to the person who spoiled me on Reddit, because I know Logan's been spoiled on the first boot as well, which means that we actually cannot predict where teams are going to fall for the first time in any preview episode ever.
We can have the predictions. I can have the predictions anyway, after the first episode airs.
Yeah. In this preview episode, we are not going to be able to make any actual placement predictions because I know 2 of what I'm assuming will be the final 6. Logan knows who the top 10 are, at least.
Yeah, I think I got the better end of that deal.
Yeah, you did. And I'm still really, really annoyed that was posted without a spoiler tag. So, shall we begin with... We're doing this in alphabetical order for the first time ever as well. With Alex and Adam.
Cousins!
Who are cousins. It's nice to see a cousins team.
First male cousins team, I believe.
Cousins from Illinois and Iowa.
A town called Champaign.
And Alex is in charge of the apparel department at shop, and Alex brightens people's day with food.
Yeah, but yet he doesn't want to try any food, which I love that little bit of irony, I guess.
And Alex has hobbies that include bowling, which, is a nice shout-out to the bowling moms from Amazing Race 5.
I assume everybody who says bowling is a hobby is just trying to do a wink at the hardcore audience.
Yeah. And also, for the first time of many bios in this season, he also seems to think that a ladies' man is war one word. Because I've gone in at lengths about bio questions before. If you are asked for one word, please God, don't say more than one. Because I will mention it, and I will call you out on it.
And then it'll just follow them forever. It'll just haunt them like, oh man, that Michael Harmstone guy, he really got me good. He called me out on my BS.
There are like 3 or 4 people in this cast who commit this foul, and it is slightly irritating.
What my favorite part of the bio was, he said, oh, the person that he loves the most, probably out of any celebrity, a singer called Adam Devine. Adam Devine of Maboon 5.
Isn't he on Workaholics as well? With our good friend John off of Jessica?
Oh, there's actually a guy named Adam Devine. I thought he was trying to go for a Maroon 5 reference. But yeah, probably the guy from Workaholics. And of course, yeah, John from Amazing Race 24 was also in Workaholics, where he played the character of Anders.
And also Pitch Perfect he was in.
Mm-hmm.
And Alex tends to blame others for problems, which is always a nice sign.
I just feel better blaming other people myself.
Yeah.
Very therapeutic.
I love how they both accuse each other of getting loud as well.
The loud cousins.
Yeah, Adam is always loud, and Alex gets loud when he's competitive, apparently.
Who knew that the guy who lives in a town called Champagne would get loud after a while?
And did you notice what Adam's number one hobby was? Storm chasing in the Midwest.
Seems legit.
Yeah, certainly an interesting hobby for them. And Adam is the first of 11 of these 22 people to say that he wants to see a place because his family are from there. This is
I wrote
a
that down
running
too.
joke from the season. I counted it. It's 11 people in their bios say, I want to go to because my family are there are from there.
I think they all collaborate on that, saying, "Guys, it'd be hilarious as if we all just say that the only reason why we want to travel to a specific location is because of our ancestry." And it's like it's like they don't even put any effort into the bios. A lot of them they just went for the most obvious answer possible. Nobody went for anything obscure or anything remotely interesting. They went for either obvious answers or bad answers.
I mentioned this to Ben a couple of hours ago that, I was just counting through the bios as I was writing my notes, just going, right, this person wants to go there because of their family. This person wants to go there because of their family. It's just ridiculous. And it must be a production joke. Someone is playing a trick on anyone reading these bios, surely.
It's like nobody wants to stand out.
Yeah. Anything else to say about Alex and Adam?
Adam is Dutch, so I think right there he loses 5 points.
Well, depends if he's seen Dutch Mole or not.
If he's a fan of Dutch Mole, then he can really claim that Dutchness in his ancestry, and he would be a real Dutchman and not a poser. Not a poser.
Just for anyone who's listened to our previews before, these team bios are going to be a lot shorter than normal because there really isn't much to say about a lot of them.
Yeah, nobody has a fear of wooden popsicle sticks, so that takes away 5 minutes right there.
I love Charlotte and Nabila. So, second alphabetically is Team Shack Attack.
Oh, Shaquille O'Neal is on this season? Oh, let the Shack Attack begin.
The famous Irish actor Shaquille O'Neal is on this season. So, it's Cindy and Rick, who are a married couple from San Diego, I think it was, wasn't it?
California.
Yeah, woo, our first Californian team. And she is a dentist, and he's an OBGYN.
The OG of the OBGYN?
Yeah, he literally catches babies and takes out uteruses.
You know, he's probably good friends with with John and Jacqueline from Survivor San Juan del Sur.
Her uterus wasn't taken out, though. She was just born without one, wasn't she?
Yeah. Or he was the one that took it at birth. And it's seen in this house right now. The Shack Attack.
On his mantelpiece. Like a creepy hunting trophy.
That's where he gets the name Shack Attack from. Just from capturing uteruses.
This is weird.
The Shack Attack.
This conversation is weird.
And to make things worse, he loves karaoke. So karaoke and uteruses are his two biggest interests. Rick's gonna have a great legacy in The Amazing Race.
I heard his go-to karaoke song was Franz Ferdinand's "Take Me Out."
Oh, he's a big fan of the first Guitar Hero then.
And she was born in Vietnam and moved to the US when she was 1.5 months old. And he's from a first-generation immigrant family as well.
Not from Cambodia though, right? It's not just a complete duplicate of Dennis and Isabel.
No, I'm assuming China, because he mentions China later in the bio.
China.
And she reminds herself of Drew Barrymore, and he's Edward Cullen from Twilight because of how pale he is.
Those are the two worst analogies you can come up with. There's only one person who I think, or two, no, there's three people. Yeah, there's three people total who have worse analogies in terms of celebrities, but a team with Edward Cullen and Drew Barrymore, I don't know if I can support a team like that.
And Rick is apparently very confrontational, and she ends up secretly rolling her eyes at him. I just get the feeling that they're probably going to be the victim of a U-turn at some point.
I don't know. I think they'll just fight themselves out of the race.
Yeah, I certainly don't think that they have a chance.
It's just that their personalities seem all over the place.
The bigger question for them is whether they're going to still be a couple by the end of the race.
A question which Joey and Kelsey want to answer.
Yeah, I just get the feeling that they're either going to be together for life or breaking up at the finish line.
Yeah.
Or at the pit stop, depending on where they get eliminated.
Instead of Erin from Amazing Race 6 proposing at the pit stop, it's just going to be a formal breakup announcement.
She's going to open a clue with divorce papers in. And in a way, I hope they get to Australia just to see her terrible accent come into play.
Her terrible accent?
Yeah, she did a really bad accent in her bio. Like a really stereotypical Australian accent that probably would have offended our 2 Australian compatriots.
Actually, it's funny. I was at Subway a few days ago, or this last week, I think. And there's a guy in front of me, and he had an Australian accent, but it was like me trying to do an Australian accent, so I try not to laugh the whole time.
And what would that sound about?
Hello, mate. Today I can go eat my baby.
That was more than I ever could have asked for.
That's what he pretty much sounded like. I'm thinking, oh no, like when Ben and Michelle talk, you know, they're like, I can't duplicate a legitimate Australian accent like mine. It doesn't even sound anywhere remotely close. And this guy comes into Subway, and I'm thinking, it's like he's trying to do an Australian accent, and it's going very horribly for him.
Oh, Logan, never change. And he reminds himself of Sheldon from The Big Bang Theory.
Next.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever mentioned The Big Bang Theory on the podcast, probably deliberately.
Didn't another team compare themselves to a character from The Big Bang Theory? Somebody on Amazing Race 26 or Amazing Race 25?
Someone in this season did. James did from Denise and James.
Oh, and they're next. But yes, so far I'm trying to come up with new hashtags for each team, as opposed to the really generic ones that production comes up with prior to start of each season. So for Alex and Adam, I put a new hashtag, the Devine cousins, and then for Shack Attack, I want to try and change it to Karaoke Attack.
Yeah, can we never ever call them Shack Attack again? Because it makes me want to slightly vomit in my mouth.
Only if we're using it to diss them. If it's part of a diss, then we can use Shack Attack.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I will hate them, because they are not the Voldemort Mussolinis, but I don't get good vibes off them. So shall we move on to Denise and James?
Earl Jones? James Earl Jones? Is that the James Earl that's on the race?
It is. It's James Earl Jones.
Oh, man. I wish he was racing with somebody named Luke. That would have been great. Or he could have reenacted the scene from The Sandlot. Oh, there's so many things that James Earl Jones can do.
Including being the voice of Mufasa.
Yes.
My son. So Denise and James are a mother and son from Alabama. And she is an administrative assistant, and he's a resident physician.
Yeah. And that's definitely what they're going to be talking about during the season. There's definitely not some other thing that they repeat 20,000 times in their bio and in ET Canada's Meet the Teams video.
Well, before we get to that, I mentioned a couple of weeks ago on the Amazing Race Canada podcast about some of the vomit-inducing words that people are using on Amazing Race 27 bios.
I'm guessing one of those is Denise with the word flirtatious?
Flirtatious. I mentioned that it was going to be in a slightly creepy accent whenever I said it, because, you know, they are slightly creepy words. And Denise is not the worst culprit for this. We are going to get to them next. But Denise describing herself as flirtatious. A little bit creepy. Not as creepy as Cormac and Nicole, but a little bit creepy.
It'd be funny if she tries to flirt with, say, Tanner and Josh.
More importantly, though, she's a black belt in Taekwondo.
Yes, which she really needs, because she needs strong self-defense when she really likes Julia Roberts.
Yeah, she's flirtatious, and he's enthusiastic, apparently.
You know what the best part about James Earl's bio was? Is that not only did Denise have the least flattering description for herself by comparing herself to Julia Roberts, James Earl one-ups it by comparing her to Kelly Pickler, who was dumber than a fifth grader on the game show Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? But like Kelly Pickler's run on Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader went viral because she came up with some really stupid answers.
I have no idea why people would ever submit themselves to Are You Smarter Than a 10-year-old?
Or submitting themselves to spending time with Jeff Foxworthy.
There is literally one quiz show that I ever would want to go on, and that is The Chase. Yeah, I have no desire to go on a quiz show and prove how awesome I am.
I do.
What would be your quiz of choice, then?
Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Yeah, that's not on anymore, though, is it?
Oh, one day. The Canadian version will eventually come out. If we had to wait 13 years for Big Brother Canada and Amazing Race Canada, we should be able to get Who Wants to Be a Millionaire Canada.
Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, eh?
Yeah, that could be the alternate name for it.
Only if the first three questions were for a Looney Tooney and a Spoonie.
Yes. It's tax-free.
And she's more afraid of losing her lipstick than her luggage. That's going to end well.
Mm-hmm.
And now the big elephant in the room that we've been deliberately avoiding.
Oh, I know what the big elephant is in the room. James Earl wanting to bake with Sabrina from Amazing Race Canada. Oh, wait, no. There's one other elephant in the room.
Yeah, as if you couldn't tell from the fact that production had put them in pink shirts. James is gay. And her wish for the race is to show her son that she loves him unconditionally. Because apparently they had a little falling out when he came out to her.
In Alabama, of all places.
And Jim Parsons, who I believe is the actor who plays Sheldon, but I really don't care about anything about The Big Bang Theory, because as a self-professed nerd, it insults me, The Big Bang Theory.
Well, with the laugh track, too. That's what bugs me the most about any show like that. As soon as you have a laugh track, that means you're telling me that you don't think your jokes are legitimately funny on your own, and you have to use an artificial boost to make people think that what you're offering is good comedy.
Yeah, and I've been to their set as well, and it's not impressive.
Not impressed.
Definitely not the highlight of the Universal tour. One thing that interested me in Denise's bio, though, she says she wants to go back to Japan.
Which means she's already been to Japan.
Exactly, which hints to me that she's quite well travelled, which probably bodes quite well.
I don't know. They seem like they're gonna suck. They seem like the second coming of Susan and Patrick.
Really?
Yeah, like the hashtag I came up with them was hashtag a worse Susan and Patrick.
Okay, better or worse than Cormac and Nicole?
Worse?
I think slightly better, but we can't do
At least
predictions.
Nicole had hashtag never give up Nicole in those scenes with Mickey and Pete.
Yeah, hashtag never give up Denise probably isn't going to trend. So now the team who I'm slightly conflicted about is Ernest and Gin.
Jin Lao.
Which is a fake name, may I point out.
Ernest Phillips and Jin Lao, brothers.
Yeah, Jin Lao is a fake name, as if you didn't guess. Ernest describes himself as a hustler and says he has goals in the entertainment industry.
And did you know that Ernest compared, this is another brilliant typo, Ernest compared Jin to Bloomka from Street Fighter. Who the hell is Bloomka?
I have no idea.
Does that mean Jin's going to be spinning around in circles with his knees tucked in and shooting off electricity?
He reminds me more of Blanca from Animal Crossing.
Oh, the cat with no face but ears.
Well, she did actually have a face in the 3DS game.
Oh, well, I don't have this 3DS game, Michael.
You should get it, it's awesome. Yeah, because on April Fool's Day, she appears in residents' houses, basically, as a double of them. They both give you a fax, and you have to work out who is the imposter. What even does Ernest mean by goals in the entertainment industry, dare I ask?
Being famous? Have money? Is it Ernest or Jin who is borderline homeless at the moment?
I'm not entirely sure. I'd assume Jin, because Ernest is a germaphobe.
Because I think, I forget which way, it was in the ETCAN interview as well, where one of them said that if they don't win the $1 million, then he's most likely going to have to move back into his parents' place.
Ernest and Gin are also the culprits of the creepiest set of 3 words in maybe Amazing Race history.
Go on.
Ernest described himself as unique, sexy, and athletic. Just need sort of seedy music behind that now.
I was expecting something much worse, actually.
And Jin describes himself as maybe the worst word that anyone has ever used in a bio. Seductive.
He did, yeah, he was the one that used seductive. I know somebody did, but I can't remember who it was.
Yes, that was the one that I teased a couple of weeks ago on our Tarkan podcast.
No, nothing says seductive like the 25th greatest Call of Duty 3 player in the world.
It's not even a real fighting game. It'd be impressive if it was GoldenEye or Splatoon. Splatoon, which may I point out, is now part of esports.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That is a big victory.
I think it's in Japan, there's $1 million tournament for Splatoon now on Turf Wars.
What?
Yeah.
Man, I'm definitely not going to be winning that.
Not with your performance in Splatoon. Hey-o.
Hey, I always, whenever you're not playing, Michael, I always lead my team to victory. Or if we lose, I'm the one that plays the best by far. I pretty much just rage quit the last time I played Splatoon a couple weeks ago because my teammates were worthless.
Yeah, I keep going through runs on Splatoon of people just being awful and dragging me down. But it is fun playing with you because I know I'm not going to be the worst one there.
Shut up.
We need to have another Splatoon cast match.
Oh, this was my favorite part about besides, you know how much I love Street Fighter, but the other thing that I loved about Jin's bio, besides him and Ernest both saying, no, we just want to eat food and see exotic women, which is a bit weird combination for reasons why you go on the Amazing Race. But he really wants to go to China because of Jet Li.
Jet Li, Simi! Jet Li!
So him and Opie from Amazing Race Canada both have a fondness for Jet Li.
I did indeed have 3 words written down in their section, which was just Jet Li, Simi.
And apparently Jin Lao is the farter and the spitter. Not a puker though. he avoided the terrible trio. The terrible trio of bodily functions.
And Jin wants to show his big brother that the dramatic extreme way is always the right way.
Mm-hmm.
What the
What
hell?
would be the wrong way? Pretty much the Gino and Jesse way is the wrong way. Just being passive and calm and awful.
So shall we move on to one of our female teams now?
Sure.
Which is Jazmine and Danielle.
The bows and the hair. We can just talk about that for 10 minutes.
They are best friends from California.
Another team from California. We're Ernest and
Gin were Boston.
Yes. Boston strong.
Which, you know...
But not firefighters, luckily. If they were firefighters, we never would have heard the end of it, just like we did in Amazing Race 25.
It makes me like them slightly more that they're from Boston, because Boston's awesome. So Jazmine is an LA Galaxy Star Squad girl, and from Google I can basically see that's a cheerleader, and Danielle is a student. And Jazmine is high maintenance and outspoken.
And high educated. But then they sort of counteract that by saying they both represent Kim and Kourtney Kardashian.
Yes. The Kardashians. And Jazmine is most scared of being in a place where they don't understand your language.
If only she was on the Amazing Race Canada.
Yeah. Which, coupled with Danielle being obnoxious and uncontrollable, were a wonderful combination. And Jazmine wants to visit Africa to see where her ancestors originated from and to meet the people who won't speak English.
Yeah, she's sort of asking for, contradictory things there.
Yeah. And Danielle's interests include sleeping. They're going to be a bit passive. But of course, Danielle wants to visit France because her grandmother's from there.
Ancestry. I wonder if Ancestry.com is a sponsor for the Amazing Race 27, because in the Amazing Race 26, Michael, we did see a pretty significant increase in sponsorship to keep the series alive, and with ratings ever declining, maybe Ancestry.com is getting in on the Amazing Race business, because it connects people from the world in the past and the present.
Well, didn't you know that this season is actually subtitled The Amazing Race Who Do You Think You Are edition?
Yes, Alec Baldwin will be in an episode soon enough, along with Kelsey Grammer.
So anything else to add about Jazmine and Danielle? I know that was very quick for them, but...
No, I think I actually had the fewest notes, I believe, compared to any other team.
Mainly because we have an awesome team to get to.
Awesome? I don't know.
Justin and Diana, aka Team Viral Love. Which does sound like something that Jeff and Jackie got in Sequester last year. So he's a radio producer from the Bronx but based in Arizona, and she's a school teacher from Pennsylvania. They are most notable for being the couple featured in the Amazing Race themed wedding proposal that went viral last year, where he surprised her and took her to Iceland.
Yeah, the good thing is, though, we can really say anything about them because there's no chance that they're listening to this podcast. In fact, we can just tell them afterwards that we talked about them on the podcast. But all I really did for 10 minutes was talk about the movie Straight Outta Compton and my favorite Dr. Dre songs. And then we can just move on to talking about Kelly and Siobhan. And you know what? Jess and Diana will never know. They're casual fans of The Amazing Race. They were recruited a week before they went out to film the season, if I recall correctly. Didn't really know what they were getting into. No past history with the Amazing Race, and they're really going to be doing this on the fly.
I'm assuming that he's added you on Facebook as well, then.
Yes, he has.
So hello, Justin.
Yeah.
We're going to try and
So,
be mean now.
is this, would they qualify as the biggest fans of the Amazing Race that we've seen in the 27 US seasons?
Definitely up there. Because they are the only team to have already heard Justin and Diana, you're the first team to arrive, and as the winners of this leg of the race, we're giving you a trip to St. Lucia. Because they won that on the Rachel Ray show when they went on there after the video went viral.
Oh, they were even on Rachel Ray. Oh, those poor souls. At least this Amazing Race made up for it.
They were on Rachel Ray and actually got to meet Phil already.
So Phil already has a rapport with them.
Yes, he does. So he is most worried about his lack of a second language when travelling, which is ironic because I seem to remember that the final challenge in his fake Amazing Race was her learning French. And Diana apparently does not answer direct questions with direct answers.
No?
Maybe. And he'd like to visit Bora Bora, the UK, or Alaska.
May want to go with Bora Bora out of those three.
Aye. All of which I'm pretty sure are not going to appear on this season.
Considering Bora Bora was on the Amazing Race 22, and the rest would just be domestic travel.
And the UK as well.
Oh, in the UK then. Yeah, that was just Amazing Race 25, so yeah, no way that's going to happen.
Yeah, and the UK, which seems to be appearing every season now, so. And she would also like to visit the UK as well as Italy because
Ancestry?
her grandparents are from there.
Oh, I was right.
And whilst their biggest negative is that they're not very well travelled, their video, which I did rewatch before the podcast, does show how good their teamwork is. And most importantly, they can both drive a manual car.
But can they swim?
But can they swim indeed?
They were in those hot springs there, so they probably can. They're comfortable in the water at the very least.
And also, Justin gets bonus points for being a radio nerd like me, which is kind of why I'm supporting them, as well as the fact that I do love that video.
What do you think he means by wanting to see the race through Diana's eyes?
Maybe he's going to scoop them out with a spoon or something.
Maybe he's like the Brandon from Game of Thrones. Do you see Game of Thrones at all?
No.
Oh, well, there's this character named Brandon who...
Is he named after Brandon Hans?
No relation to Brandon Hans. No, yeah, no relation at all. And he has this ability where he can sort of take over an animal's body or another person's body and make them do certain movements and just see things from their perspective. So I think Justin was just aiming at a Game of Thrones reference there, which is probably not what he's expecting to hear on a podcast talking about them as a comparison to Brandon from Game of Thrones.
Yeah, and, a comparison from me to them as serial killers.
They're loving us already.
Anything else to add?
Do you think with how much they know about the Amazing Race and the fact that Diana is a 6th grade teacher, well, just as an aside, my 6th grade teacher let me watch an episode of the Amazing Race season 3 while it was airing.
Wasn't it
back 13 years ago?
Wasn't it the infamous Portugal leg?
Yes, it was the Portugal leg when Heather and Eve couldn't follow directions and were eliminated because of it. And yeah, that's the episode we watched in the 6th grade 1 week after it aired. Shows you how long the Amazing Race has been on. But yeah, with Diana being a 6th grade school teacher and then Justin and Diana Justin being in radio and both of them being huge fans of the Amazing Race, my only concern is if they might edit themselves too much for television.
I suspect that they will probably geek out quite a lot at the start line and probably any pit stop they make it to.
I wonder if they're going to be like Max Dawson from Survivor Worlds Apart, where they try to make as many old school references as possible.
There will be a lot of talk about the viral video, though.
Mm-hmm. I hope there's not too much talk about it, though. I just don't want their edit to be reduced to being the viral couple.
And also them being Team Viral Love basically means that I can do Jeff and Jackie jokes as long as they're in the season, so that's another positive for them.
Yes.
I've got a terrible case of the Viral Loves.
There's no cure for it.
So the next team is Kelly and Siobhan.
Boo!
How did I know that was coming?
Oh, for those of you who don't know, I've seen one episode of TMZ, and I absolutely hate TMZ and pretty much everything it stands for. It's just, celebrity. It's celebrity gossip on crack, where they switch to things every 30 seconds, and there's a bunch of people talking in the room, and all they do is just talk about celebrity gossip, and really have nothing to add to anything. And two of those people get to be on the Amazing Race because they're from TMZ, which in Canada we call it TMZ, just to clarify.
As do we.
Yes, and so the two people from TMZ, get rewarded for being part of a crappy show. It'd be like if the Amazing Race Canada used two actors from the Royal Canadian Air Force and then put them on the Amazing Race Canada.
No, it would be like if the Amazing Race Canada put two of the harpies from The Social.
Oh, this podcast is over. I got a case of the harpies.
I'm sorry, Mr. Saunders, you've got the harpies. Why are we making so many STI jokes today? Or the team of James Duthie and Devon Sultanbeek.
But yeah, with Kelly and Siobhan, I just, Siobhan's biggest fear is to get a stomach flu. But I really hope she gets that stomach flu.
In a way, I hope they go out first, and in a way, I hope they last forever just so you can bitch about them.
Like, my hashtag for them is hashtag go home already.
It should be hashtag TMZ, surely.
Or TMI.
So, Kelly is a video editor who describes herself as funny, which is also a no-no on the bios, and Siobhan is a post-production supervisor who is blunt.
And Obama follows Kelly on Twitter. The real Barack Obama, apparently, not a fake Twitter account just to make Kelly feel better.
And Kelly appears sometimes on TMZ, as a token strong female.
Well, how do you be a token strong female on TMZ? You're just sitting in a room talking.
That's basically what we do, Logan.
Yeah, Michael, you're the strong male of this podcast.
That's why I described you as a token strong Canadian at the start. And Kelly is most scared of being taken whilst on holiday, as her father is no Liam Neeson. I'm assuming that was meant to be a joke, but it was, crap.
And that's another TM or STI reference with Liam Neeson on Life's Too Short.
And Kelly wants to go to Thailand to see elephants on the beach. And Siobhan never offers up her M&Ms, frowny face. So yeah, anything else to add about them before we move on to the team that I have the least amount of notes on?
Joey and Kelsey, TV reporters.
Dating news anchors. What is it with the media teams this season? From Santa Barbara, California.
It's media teams and cheerleaders on this season. That consists of the majority. Amazing Race Canada had law enforcement and accolades. Amazing Race 27, cheerleaders and media personalities. Or media wannabes. Media wannabes is probably more accurate.
And Kelsey commits one of the bio errors. She seems to think that the words adventure seeker is one word.
At least there's not a spelling bee on the season.
Maybe they should bring over the double battle and do a spelling bee.
Oh, with these contestants, that could be painful.
Or pull a Who Wants to Be a Superhero and do a spelling bee with actual bees.
Inia and Arthur would love that task, by the way, from Amazing Race 13.
And unlike most of the comparisons, she actually does look like the person she describes herself as, which is Cameron Diaz.
Yeah.
She actually does slightly resemble Cameron Diaz. And one of the things that she's most scared of is countries where you have to drive on the left-hand side of the road.
So she won't be driving. With Joey, Joey and Thomas from the Amazing Race 17 have something in common. Did you know what that is, Michael?
I do not, no.
As we all know, Thomas from the Amazing Race 17 really loves biting into apples. And Joey, right in his bio, said he loves Apple.
Yeah, he's angling for an endorsement deal there, isn't he?
Yeah, so Thomas loves eating apples, and Joey just loves apples in general. Hashtag, and that's why it makes me lead to the new team hashtag name of hashtag Apple Lovers. And there's something else. Oh yeah, and Joey makes a joke in the bio. I assume it was a joke anyway, because I know because he's been on social media quite a bit already. Him and Kelsey, I think, have a fairly good sense of humor about things, just from my interactions with them. And Joey's biggest fears is, what's the thing that makes you scared the most when traveling abroad on the Amazing Race? And Joey said Ebola and terrorism. There's no way that can be a serious answer. That has to be a really sarcastic comment. So I'm going to say it now, and I think Joey and Kelsey may really be the sarcastic, hard-hitting team that provides the subtle comedy for the season.
The Brian and Cynthia.
The Brian and Cynthia, indeed.
As long as there is no sexual contact with a cargo net, that would be fine. And did you notice where Joey wanted to go most in the world?
Wasn't it to Italy because of his ancestry or something lame?
How did you guess that?
I don't know. I didn't even really read their bio all the way through. It was an educated guess. It was based on... I want to say it was based on trends, based on other teams.
It was indeed Italy because his family's from there.
So is mine, but I'm not going to say that in my bio.
Yeah, your family ran from the mafia, though.
Yeah, oh yeah, they totally fled. We fled with Mario Puzo, believe it or not. And we have one very serious question to answer with Joey and Kelsey. Their self-imposed storyline for this season. Kelsey's big question: are they more than just a dating couple? Because that's what everyone wants to figure out during their course of the season. If that's going to be the storyline, that's going to be one really, really boring storyline. She'll just ask that at the end of each pit stop. Are we more than a dating couple, Joey? And then Joey will be like, you know what? My family's in Italy. I don't know what this has to do with anything, but my family's in Italy, and I hope we go there.
Shall we move on to your namesake?
Oh, yeah. The first ever Logan to appear on The Amazing Race.
I know this may surprise you, but she has the best bio of the season.
She really elaborates on her answers.
It's not just that. She has some ridiculous answers. Some gloriously ridiculous answers. So it's Logan and Chris, who are dating business partners and paparazzos from Florida.
Hashtag pro stalkers.
Hashtag pro stalkers indeed. And she's most scared of small planes and diarrhea. Two wonderful things. She has a laundry list of places she wants to go: Norway, Germany, Australia, New Zealand, Hawaii, Vietnam, Laos, and Cuba. And she acts like Grumpy Cat, apparently.
And she wants to be as cool as Gwen Stefani, which I think was an intentional pun because Gwen Stefani has a song called Cool.
And did you notice her hobbies?
No, I did not.
She has, hands down, the funniest hobby, or the funniest innuendo in a hobby ever. Her hobbies include paddleboarding in her backyard canals. It's so immature, even Ben laughed when I pointed it out to him. I am pretty sure that is not the sort of thing you want to be advertising in a bio, let alone when you're racing with your significant other.
Yeah, when her boyfriend there already nicknames her the pinup paparazzi.
Hey Chris, you want to go paddleboarding in my backyard canals?
Oh, this is the person I have to share a name with in all 27 or I guess like 30 plus seasons of Amazing Race, and then 17 seasons of Big Brother and 31 seasons of Survivor. This is the first Logan to appear.
I was so tempted to describe you as the Canadian who loves paddleboarding in his backyard canals, but I thought that would sort of be spoiling the surprise. And his hobbies include collecting vintage, mid-century modern objects, arts, and furniture. Talk American, please.
They're just such a far out there team. I just can't see them. I can't see them doing that well because of how off they are, and that you know between paparazzi and then these answers, it's a weird combination to have.
I can't see them going far, but I suspect that if they do go far, they'll be very fun. Because if nothing else, they are very good at elaborating on their answers. So producers will be able to get a lot of material from them.
Yeah, and then Logan said that Chris would be a bull in Shack Attack's shop.
So shall we move on to our penultimate team?
Yes, the Gino and Jesse of America.
Yep, the Gino and Jesse, one of whom is dressed like Nic La Monaca.
Who?
Nick off of Sabrina.
Oh.
Because Tanner's wearing leggings.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
So yeah, I do all the research here. And also any opportunity to mention Nick and Sabrina love. Who tweeted us out of the blue again a couple of days ago.
Really?
I included them in the tweets for the Tarkan podcast because, any excuse to keep the channels of communication open. And they just sent us three love hearts, which is nice. Love you, Nick and Sabrina. And Tanner has everyone's favourite Survivor occupation.
Pharmaceutical sales rep.
He's a farmer rep. I miss the farmer reps on Survivor. Having said that, wasn't Corinne a farmer rep?
I believe she was.
She was. Probably my favourite farmer rep. And Tanner's biggest accomplishment in the entirety of his life is upholding a good reputation.
Yeah, that's like I only have 5 notes on them, and that was one of mine too. That's like Frank Garrison when he's playing I Never in Survivor Africa, and they're all telling their dirty stories, and then Frank Garrison's is I've never broken the honor of a handshake, and then Tanner matches that with my biggest accomplishment is upholding a good reputation.
I mean, I'm sure they're going to be very nice people. They are not Gino and Jesse, in other words, arseholes. But they are going to be so boring.
Their strategy is to quote-unquote distract the women, according to their ET Canada video.
They're going to be around forever and they're going to be boring as hell.
Like Josh, I guess Josh is thinks he is Mr. Dallas and that his head doesn't fit through doorways. And Tanner's hair may get its own Instagram, but he has the lamest hair possible. It's like Tanner and Josh have never seen hair before. Like, I feel like it's necessary to tweet them a picture of my man bun.
May I point out that they both have very narcissistic Instagrams?
Oh, really?
I have done the research, yes.
Like, I am Jesus 102 and I'm the greatest thing since sliced bread _77.
I found Tanner on Instagram before I found him on Twitter, and there are a lot of selfies on there.
Selfies? Oh, no. With Amazing Race 27, do you think they're going to continue selfies from Amazing Race 26?
No, because that was the final memory challenge, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
They are 100% continuing the Fitbit sponsorship. I know that.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, probably not. And Tanner wants to go to Norway because...
Oh, hold on. I'm going to guess.
Go on, divine it. Adam, divine it.
Hold on. Give me a second to focus. Based on my best educated guess, I think it might have something to do with people that are related to him and were born before he was.
Yes, it is, indeed, because his surname, Cloven, is a place in Norway.
Oh, man, I'm good.
So he has roots there. What a surprise. Seriously, this must be a production joke.
And of course, they do have a team hashtag for this season, and the team hashtag is hashtag mild Volda Mussolinis. They're just mild Volda Mussolinis. Not full-blown Volda Mussolini.
And Josh's number one hobby is church, surprising no one who looked at his Twitter or Instagram. And Josh is most scared of the language barrier when travelling abroad, because he doesn't want to get lost in somewhere where he can't speak the language. And for $1 million, can you guess why Josh wants to go to Ireland?
I've only got one thing comes to mind. I don't know if it's what you're looking for, but ancestry?
It is indeed, because his family is from Ireland, and his name means keeper of horses or something, I think.
Keeper of horses? Is it Hagrid's brother? You go from the keeper of keys to the keeper of horses?
It is something like keeper of horses. What is it?
First, you're amazing racers this way.
Lord of the horses it is.
Lord of the horses. Oh, those horses eat the flies so that the Lord of the Flies can't do anything as well. Lord of the Horses dominates the Lord of the Flies.
Anything else to add about them?
No, I think we can leave it at that. They'll probably be around till the end, unfortunately.
And now, the most dynamic team of the season. The one who we chose to finish with and definitely isn't because it's alphabetically last. It's Tiffany and Krista.
Former cheerleaders who have real professions now.
And Tiffany's job is about 20 words too long.
Would you like to describe it?
I don't even understand it, honestly. It's just like she got a random word generator.
With Tiffany, her job title is as long as Ernest's 5 jobs combined.
Yeah, Tiffany describes what she does as, I simplify healthcare accreditation and compliance for organisations so they can effectively and efficiently integrate requirements and patient safety initiatives into their day-to-day activities.
I think that may or may not break the cheerleader stereotype.
However, her biggest accomplishment, as of now, is making the New York Jets flight crew cheerleading squad.
Not the Flight Time and Big Easy cheerleading squad.
And they both say there is literally nothing wrong about travelling. They couldn't even come up with a bullshit answer.
They're fearless.
They are fearless and both very stubborn, apparently. And Tiffany's hobbies include hair extensions.
Did she pay $500 for those hair extensions, though?
I thought Amazing Race is supposed to be good and fun. And Krista also seems to think that the term beyond outgoing is one word.
Compound words aren't as common as you think, people.
Yeah, and she didn't even put it as a compound word, it was two separate words. And for all the money, why does Krista want to go to Italy?
Think. Red fire truck, small amount of peas, family?
It is, indeed. However did you get that?
I'm just that damn good.
So anything else to add about them?
I wasn't expecting a Brooke Burke reference. She's the person from Dancing with the Stars.
No, it's Brooke Burns who's the one off Chase USA, isn't it? Game show host. Legend. Used to host Dog Eat Dog.
Oh, yeah, that's Brooke Burns. This is what they're talking in the bio is Brooke Burke.
Who's glamorous and also a strong woman. So yeah, there's not a lot to hype up about this season because CBS has confirmed literally nothing for it.
Other than what they said at the press release at the starting line and the 11 teams' bios, we know very little.
I have everything they've said about this season written down so far. 11 new teams take off on the journey of a lifetime from Venice Beach, California, and head to Rio de Janeiro, where teams take a thrilling helicopter ride and face a huge decision at the Fast Forward. First leg Fast Forward. On the season premiere of The Amazing Race.
Yeah, they don't really talk about much about the twists this season. Like, there's no mention of U-turns or that stupid save or really much of anything. The only thing they really mention is an opening round Fast Forward, which has not happened since Fast Forwards were a weekly deal. And you know what I'm going to say? They need to bring back the weekly Fast Forward because that was the most intriguing part of the race in terms of strategy. Like the U-turns and yields and whatnot and speed bumps and all that other crap isn't really too engaging.
The only other thing than what CBS have officially confirmed there, that they have now confirmed thanks to the start line, is that the Express Pass is the Leg 1 prize.
Oh.
That's it. Nothing else.
Express Pass, why is it still coming back? It should just be gone, extinct.
I would rather take a single Express Pass than a double Express Pass, though. Double Express Pass would make me throw something.
I just want a zero Express Pass, personally. But with the twist with the Fast Forward, I can't think of what a twist with the Fast Forward could be, because the Fast Forward is already a twist to begin with.
Well, huge decision was the term they used.
Like, do they have to punch another team in the face to get it? Well, I don't understand.
Please someone get Tanner and Josh.
Yeah, you either have to punch Tanner and Josh to get your Fast Forward, or you don't get it at all.
Yes, in this Fast Forward, teams must take part in the traditional Brazilian activity of drowning kittens.
Yes, or the other tradition of paddleboarding in a backyard canal.
Yes. I seriously think that I have a suspicion of what the Fast Forward may very well be.
Oh, it should be a switchback. They should do the volleyball Fast Forward from The Amazing Race 2, where Shola and Dwayne pulled out a victory in a huge upset over the Gutsy Grannies at beach volleyball.
I think we might be seeing a copy from Amazing Race Israel's Fast Forward in Brazil. Which was volleyball naked.
Oh.
To my recollection, we have never seen a naked Fast Forward on Amazing Race in the US.
But pretty much all the other international versions have.
Exactly. Every other international iteration basically has done that. Because Australia had it in Season 2 in Vancouver. Israel's done it like 3 or 4 times now. It's a very popular Fast Forward for them to do, is either live drawing or naked volleyball. And also it greatly pleases the editors who then get to keep the screen grabs forever. Amazing Race Canada reference.
That's an episode of MTV Cribs I would never want to see. We're going to go to the house of a reality TV editor. Yeah, this is a poster of Suki and Jinder. This is a poster of Sugar at the first immunity challenge of Survivor Heroes versus Villains.
Hashtag topless double flip off.
This is a poster of John from The Amazing Race 4 when he was busting open that rock.
Topless double flip off was actually the term that Probst used to hype up the season. And it made me laugh a lot.
What's refreshing about this season is that there's really nobody that we knew too much about before the season started, like no faux celebrities at all. I mean, it's kind of strange, but the only faux celebrity is Justin and Diana, but that's because of how big of fans of The Amazing Race they are. It's not like Bethany Hamilton.
Bethany Hamilton?
Oh yes, Bethany Hamilton from Amazing Race 25. But yeah, so it's almost countered by the fact that a lot of the teams were already involved in the media. So yeah, I don't know what to make of this cast.
Yeah, I think with Justin and Diana, I am worried that their superfan nature is going to come back to haunt them. But I would like them to go for a while. I would be very happy if they didn't get eliminated ever. But I have a feeling they may overthink it.
Yeah, I have them possibly making it to like the middle part of the season, and I'm somebody like I think I always have the one wild card team each season. Like in like with last season with Amazing Race 26, my wild card team was Tyler and Laura, and this season my wild card team is Tiffany and Krista.
So thank you very much for listening. You can join us on Sunday, the 27th of September, to recap the premiere of Amazing Race 27, and you can join Logan and I this coming Sunday, which is the 20th. And then one on the 25th of September, which is also premiere day for Amazing Race 27, to recap the final 2 episodes of Amazing Race Canada 3. And if you enjoyed the show, and even if you didn't, please subscribe on iTunes. And if you want to see what we're rambling about this week, our Twitters are in the podcast description everywhere as well. And finally, if you've not heard the interview that we did with last season's breakout characters, Mike and Rochelle, you can also find that on our iTunes feed. Thank you again.
Hashtag 250, hashtag Super Kawaki, hashtag Ginger Ninja, hashtag yatncast. Peace!
Hashtag paddleboarding in my backyard canals.